is Tamera Weeks with Tam's Daily Vlog, and it is Weeks Wednesday, where I talk about somebody in the family. Today I want to tell you about my mother and the time that I spent with her. And if you don't know the story, last August of 2014, I went to visit my mother. I went to visit her for about 2 weeks. I wanted to see how she was doing. And when I got there, I realized that I was going to have to stay because Mom wasn't going to be around too much longer. She made it for about 2 months. I didn't have any idea that it was going to be that fast, but when I got there, it just rapidly went down until Mom was finally gone. But what I wanted to tell you about was how perfectly sweet those last 2 months were that I had with Mom. When I got down there, Mom had a part-time job. She lived in San Leon, Texas, and if you're interested in living down there, right now her house is for sale or for lease. And she was working at a local bar down there. It's a very small community. Everybody knows everybody. And I had asked her before I went down there, I said, Mom, when I come down, is it okay if I go to work with you and meet your friends? And she said, well, I don't think you want to go to a bar. And I said, well, Mom, you raised me in bars. And she said, well, yeah, that's right. So she told all her friends that I was coming, and she said it was okay for me to go to work with her. She worked a morning shift, would get there at 7, start work at 8, work till 11. And she had her own little clientele. They would just come in there, you know, me and you may at 8 o'clock in the morning have a cup of coffee together. Down there, they get together at 8 o'clock in the morning and they have a beer together. And this particular bar didn't have a liquor license, so they only sold beer. And they would all just come in. They were all friends with each other, but a lot of it really was about seeing Mom. They would come visit Mom and be around her sparkly personality that always made everybody laugh. Well, I got to Mom's house. I don't even remember the exact date, but it was toward the end of August. And a week and a half later, it was on a Thursday, we went in to work, got there at 7, and by 7:45 we were back home. Mom just Mom didn't have the strength to stand up and do her job that day, and that was the last time that she went. And, you know, the idea was, you know, just go home until you're a little bit stronger, but Mom never did get any stronger. But I wanted to tell you a few of the stories that made it very, very sweet. I wasn't real close to Mom. We didn't talk every week. We didn't talk all the time. But when we talked, you know, it was Mom. We always had a really good relationship, and we just kind of catch up on what was going on when we did talk. And the last few months before I went down there, I probably left 7 or 8 voicemails. She left me a couple of voicemails. We had a really hard time catching up with each other because she was going to the doctor a lot, and then she was working every day. We moved to Nebraska in 1992 when our second child, Lauren, was 2 years old. We actually moved on her second birthday. And so all through the years that I've been here, you know, different things would float through my mind that I wanted to tell Mom. And during these 8 weeks that I was with my mother at the end, I was able to share every single thing that had ever floated through my mind. And it was the sweetest script that I could not have written had I put pen to paper all by myself. God just made these 8 weeks with my mom perfect and very, very beautiful. One of the things that happened, she was at the hospital getting blood work. I think it was the last time that she went. And I went to the cafeteria to get us both some food, and there were these little round patties. I always forget what they're called. They're kind of red looking. It's just a patty of sugar, and it's got those Spanish peanuts in them. Mom wasn't a big sweet eater when I was a kid, but that was one of the things that Mom liked. And they had it in the store. You don't even find them very often. I saw it, I picked it up. I knew that Mom probably wasn't going to eat it, but it meant a lot to me that I could pick it up and take it and show it to Mom and say, Mom, do you still like these patties? Every time I see one of these and I'm with my kids, I always tell them, Granny Peggy used to eat these when I was a little girl. And she didn't eat it, but that was very special that I could do that. One of the things that I took with me on my trip, specifically to show to Mom, my grandmother, which would have been Mom's mom, died 3 years ago. And Mom sent me a robe that belonged to Granny with a few other clothing items, but I took that robe with me, and Mom had made a gown probably when I was a kid, and she must have given it to me 20 years ago, but I wear it all the time. And then she had this gown, this old extra large gown that I still wear all the time. It's a winter gown. I took these 3 things and I had packed them up, and I was able to go tell Mom about them, because I would bring up the one thing to Mom on the phone and she wouldn't remember it because Mom would lounge in it and I wear it as a gown. So we were able to talk about that, and I was able to tell her what it meant that she thought of me and sent me those things from Granny, and that I still had her gowns and still wore them. And that was, that just was something that meant something to me. One of the things that happened as Mom had a recliner that she would sit in. And as time went on, it would be a little more difficult for Mom to get up, and sometimes it was a little bit intermittent. Sometimes she could get up by herself, and then sometimes she'd just need me to put my arm out and she'd hold on to my arm. Mom was about 5'8", I'm 5'1", but I could offer her a little bit of strength, and she would hold on to my arm and pull up out of the chair. And sometimes she would need me to grab my arms all the way around her and hold on to her and pull her up, and I'd hear her back go pop, 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 pop. And she would insist that it didn't hurt, but it sure sounded like it did. And we had a walker for a little while. And one of these times that I was trying to help Mom out, sometimes we didn't get up in one shot. You know, she'd maybe try and she couldn't, so maybe I'd help her, and she wouldn't quite have her feet in the right place and wouldn't be able to get all the way up, and she'd sit back down, and we'd try it one more time. And this particular time, it was taking us a while to get up out of that chair. And Mom said, "You sure are patient with me." And I was able to say to Mom, "That's because you're my mother, and God has given us this time together and allowed me to be able to be here for you." And I told her that I would do a lot of things for a lot of other people, but they weren't my mom. And it was very special for me to be able to show my love to my mother and to be able to take care of her. That was very special. I did a video a few months ago of Mom cooking her last meal. I got a little bit of Mom on camera. I didn't want her to feel like she was being showcased on film, because Mom always had a camera in her hand and took a lot of pictures. I brought home lots and lots of photo albums where she had taken lots and lots of pictures. I'm going to put a little bit of that on some video too. It's kind of taken me a while to space all this stuff out and get it on film. But those are just a few of the stories. Oh, there was one time when Mom got on hospice. She was on hospice for about a week and a half, 10 days. We put a hospital bed right there in the living room. And one night I went over to her, and she had woke up in the middle of the night or something, and I went over to her and I was asking her, could I move a pillow or, do this or that. I had these different things that I would do to try to help Mom be comfortable. And I said, "Mom, I'd do anything to make you comfortable." And she said, I know you would. And I said, I love you so much, Mom. And she said, "I know you do." That was significant that she said, "I know you do," because usually she would say, "I love you too, baby." But for her to tell me that she knew that I loved her, I don't know why that was as significant as it was, but it meant so much to me that Mom said that. It just felt like we exchanged all the words that we needed to exchange, and we didn't really exchange a lot. Mom didn't have her last will and testament to tell me. She didn't have last words. She didn't have just those last words. I was kind of waiting on them. It never felt like she was supposed to. I just thought that's what you do if you have an opportunity to. You have the last words that you're going to say, especially if your daughter is there. And I guess it was just supposed to end the way that it did, because Mom never said anything to me, and it never felt like she was supposed to, and it was okay. I did make sure my last words to her kind of seemed like they were odd, but I thought I was saying what I felt like Mom was thinking about and what Mom wanted to hear. She had a brand new Cadillac that I didn't keep. I turned it back into the to the dealership. It was brand new. She'd gotten it in February and passed away in October. She really, really wanted me to have it, but there was still an amount due of $30,000, and so I went ahead and turned it back in. But I told Mom, I said, I promised to take good care of your Cadillac because that was her baby. I didn't even drive it the whole time I was there. I had my car, and I would take my car and go wherever I needed to go to run errands and stuff. So it was kind of a joke about, nobody drives Mom's car. I told her that my kids would get to know her when I went home and I told them stories about her, just the way she was able to get to know my kids because I told her stories about them while I was there. And I promised her I would take very good care of her money because I knew that was a really big deal. A really, really big joke we had was about money. Mom would need to write out bills, and I'd say, well, Mom, I can write out your check for you if you want me to. No, that's all right. I'll do it. She wrote her last bills out on Monday, and she passed away the following Sunday. She could barely write. I even volunteered to write the check, and she could sign it, at different times when she was writing out her bills. And I would think that she was out of cash, and I'd say, well, Mom, I can run by the bank and get some money. No, you don't need to do that. It was just, we just had a lot of jokes about money. And one time a friend was over, and I needed to go to the store, and Mom said, I'll go get you money. You just help me out of this chair. And it was very difficult for her, but she had to get up twice that day to go get me money because I had to go to the store. And her friend was there, and Mom said, well, I'm not dead yet. So we just had a lot of fun about money and about the car. Those are the two things that we would just make a lot of jokes about. So I can't remember off the top of my head some of the other things that were very sweet about being with Mom, but it was just the most perfect time that we had together, and it was very sweet. Mom liked Nutty Buddies when I was a kid. There were a lot of different things that I remembered from when I was a kid, and I'd say, well, Mom, are you surprised I remember all these things about you? And she'd say, yeah. So we ate a lot of Nutty Buddies while I was there. She said, run down to the store and go get some Nutty Buddies. And she was taking steroids for just a really short time, and her appetite increased, but it went way back down to nothing as soon as those steroids started wearing off and they were finally all gone. But that's a little bit about Mom, and I might make another video sometime when I am thinking about some more aspects of Mom. But thank you so much for watching, and share with me some stories that you have about losing people very close to you, or maybe losing one of your parents, and tell me how you are doing. And I will talk to you soon. I will look to the hills from whence cometh my help, for my help cometh from the Lord. I will talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.